Okay. Remember I took down my mount for the windshield, and a couple of times the camera fell. So, and plus they changed the laws. I did not know that they changed it, but I was doing it within the law, but still. Anyway, that was an old one. I need a new one. So anyway, it's like this. It is what it is. Anyway, I want to talk about something that I did. I need to be in this lane. I did, and I cracked myself up. Okay, I know you shouldn't talk about what you do by yourself, you know, that you find funny, you know, about yourself. But it reminded me of I still can't stop laughing because, well, let me just say what it was. I came to a light and I was in the turning lane, okay, to turn left. And there wasn't much traffic at all. There was nobody to the right of me, except in that lane that would go straight. And then there was another to the right of that one that goes straight, and the guy was in that one. Okay, it was probably around, I say, mid-40s or so, and so there wasn't much traffic at all, at all. And I was waiting for the light, and so was he. And I looked over, I could feel something, you know, like you see it out of your side view here, and I look, and he's staring at me. I mean, he was not letting up. There was nothing else there but me, and he was staring right at me, even with sunglasses. I could just tell, and I'm looking at it, finally looking like, what? It was kind of funny. I'm like, okay, this guy's not gonna stop staring at me. How rude, you know? So I had the visor had already pulled it out because the sun was in my eyes from that direction. So I moved the visor all the way to parallel against the window. See, to me this was hilarious because I did it so slowly. I kind of like dramatically, you know, I'm like the furthest from the histrionic, but it made me, I couldn't help it. You know, because the guy was being rude, staring at me like that. Like, you know what? Did he think he knew me? Or it wasn't even that kind. It was just staring at me. You know, such a stern look on his face. So I moved over there. And then I couldn't help it. Like I'm laughing right now. And that time my body was shaking. I was laughing so hard because it did block out his face. You see, when I moved it over there, I couldn't see his face. He couldn't see mine, I would imagine. And so I kind of peeked underneath it. I'm not a dramatic person. I'm telling you, it cracked me up. So I peeked underneath it, and he had changed his face to look forward, and his cheeks, he was a real white guy, real white. His cheeks were kind of red. They weren't when he kept staring at me. But see, that cracked me up. It is still cracking me up. But it reminded me of, you know, keeping up appearances when, I don't even remember the characters' names, but the main two characters, the woman and her husband, what's her name? Oh, I can't remember. I remember there was a Rose and there was a Violet. What was her name? What was her name? Anyway, the main woman, they would go out into the country and drive around, and she'd tell her husband, mind the fence. So, you know, he doesn't, not mind the fence. She'd say, mind the cow. And like, you know, he's going to hit a cow. And he would look at her and say, the cow's way over there behind the fence. Adam told me one time, he said, it makes me think of you. But it's kind of true. Now, the rest of her keeping up appearance and stuff, no. But I could see why he would say that. But Adam's a bad driver. I'm talking seriously bad driver. He's a lead foot, major, big time, and he's distracted. He'll, you know, every once in a while he's in another world, and he's, hey, dude, you know, watch where you're going. Mind the fence, mind the cow. It's behind the fence. But anyway, there was also another one of my nieces, she was young. I'm thinking she was maybe maybe not even 10 years old. And her stepmom called me and told me, this is what she said that made her think of me. And I'd seen it already. It's an old video that people were passing around and everything. And basically it was similar to that of Mind the Cow. But this older couple over there lived in the same place. And same area, same kind of countryside, that kind of thing. And the way they were dressed. So I guess he went somewhere outside of it. But I don't know. But anyway, anyway, they were driving down the road and a car pulled up beside them or something like that. And the guy that was in the car kept looking over at her. But what she was doing, her husband was driving. She turned around, got out of the back, I think the back of the car, and she got a steering wheel. Now her husband was driving, he had a steering wheel, attached to the car. And she got the steering wheel and and this is bad, nobody should do this. But she put the steering wheel in front of her, and that guy that was in the car next to her kept looking like, what the, And so she started acting like she was driving too with the steering wheel. So the steering wheel not attached to the car. And so she kept doing that, and he was behind her. And then he, what is this person doing? What kind of neighborhood do you think you're in? But anyway, she was driving and acting like she was driving, and the guy just kept staring at her. Well, he was being rude. He kept staring at her. So then, but she was doing something funny. I wasn't doing anything funny. But, so he kept staring at her, and she was acting like she was driving with that steering wheel. And all of a sudden, like she was going to go into his lane with, like she was steering into his lane, and he swerved off so she wouldn't hit him. That's bad. That was really bad. And my niece had, told my sister, my stepniece, she told her, her stepmom, she said, that reminds me of Aunt Grace. I'm like, that's not funny. That's not, because I would never do anything to hurt anybody. Possibly even hurt anybody. No way intentionally, like that. But but I could see why they would say that, because I do things like move the visor. See, the guy got probably, quite red in the cheeks. Stop staring at people. Really.